Hello and welcome to the Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025 edition of the SANS Internet Storm Center's Stormcast. My name is Johannes Ulrich, recording today from Jacksonville, Florida. And this episode is brought to you by the SANS.edu graduate certificate program in cyber defense operations. Well, back after a long weekend here in the US, but Didier in Belgium has been busy fixing bugs in pdf-parser. pdf-parser didn't allow you to extract all filtered streams. Well, Didier actually goes a little bit into details why this may not be such a great idea, why you may want to send that actually to JSON outputs, but he fixed the bug anyway, so you can now run this command without problems. And Google's threat intelligence group is warning users of Salesloft Drift of a possible compromise of OAuth tokens. Salesloft Drift is one of those AI chatbots that can basically connect to various backends, Salesforce, Google Workspace, and the like, in order to basically obtain data that it then uses in its conversations. Apparently, a vulnerability in Salesloft Drift allowed the leakage of the OAuth tokens being used for these connections. And as a result, in particular, Salesforce instances were heavily targeted by these threat actors, but also Google Workspace customers. This is not a vulnerability in Salesforce or Google Workspace. This is solely kind of on Salesloft Drift here. Salesforce has disconnected Salesloft Drift from its app store, so you shouldn't be able to use it anymore, and you shouldn't be at any additional risk at this point. However, it's possible that over the last month or so, these tokens were abused to steal data. The blog post by the Google Threat Intelligence Group is going into more details as to what exact the indicators of compromise are that you may be looking for in your logs, as well as how to identify whether or not your particular instance was compromised. Also, Google as well as Salesforce have notified customers that they knew were affected. But again, these may not be the only integrations that were exploited in this particular breach of OAuth tokens. And Sophos is reporting that they are seeing threat actors taking advantage of Velociraptor. Velociraptor, if you're not familiar with it, is a fairly popular open source tool that is used in digital forensics in order to access remote systems. This way, you can essentially download specific files that you would like to download without having to do full disk dumps, and also by doing everything conveniently and remotely. And that's exactly kind of what attackers are abusing here. Attackers essentially abuse the infrastructure you built for security in order to use it against you. This isn't by far the first time we have seen this. I remember earlier this year, I think Wazoo, an open source EDR tool, was abused this way. But we have also seen this done with backup tools, and definitely also commercial tools like this being abused by attackers. Whenever you build any kind of remote control infrastructure like this, you of course have to make sure that you're not building it for the bad guys as well, and that you carefully control how this particular infrastructure is accessed, and also what is exactly done using this infrastructure. Same here with Velociraptor. They're not abusing a specific vulnerability in the tool. They're really just using the tool as it's intended to be used. And SUSE is warning in an advisory that the tool NeuVector, which comes as a part of the Docker management tool Rancher, is being deployed with a default password, and, well, the user isn't necessarily being prompted or forced to change the password. This has changed now in the updated version. A random password is being created and then saved as part of the NeuVector installation, so that should fix this problem. However, for existing installations, it's important that you verify that you do have some other password, not the default password that you're using. Even if you're just upgrading, your passwords aren't changed. I guess there's too much of a risk that this would break initial installs. So definitely make sure that you're verifying that your install does not use this well-known default password. Well, and that's it for today. Thanks again for listening. Thanks for liking and subscribing to this podcast. And as always, special thanks for leaving good comments in your favorite podcast platform. And talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.